TRW Kyber rifles from Wargamer magazine number 34. Volley Fire. Only units of the British player, including sepoys and Gatling guns, can fire during a volley fire phase. British units that participate in volley fire during their player turn may only move a maximum of 1 hex during their following movement phase. Units are eligible to participate in volley fire if they are part of a contiguous line of units that are within 2 hexes of a friendly leader. Gatling guns are exempt from this rule. More than one leader may be used to extend this line past the 2 hex range of the first leader. The volley fire zone is determined by drawing 2 parallel lines from either end of the British line. Any British unit between these lines may participate in the volley fire, and any enemy units in this zone may be chosen as targets. The primary benefit of volley fire are the additional firepower offered, as units participating in volley fire may still fire opportunity fire and in any other friendly fire phases. And all fire attacks made during the 2 volley fire phases offer the firing player the option of changing the die roll by either 1 up or down. In other words, if a volley fire attack were conducted on the 11-12 column and a 4 was rolled, the attacker could accept the result or declare it to be a 3 or a 5 at his option. This decision is made after the die is rolled and the possible results are determined. So playing this game is having the probably predictable effect of making me want a lot more. So this is making me think it really would be great to have a squad leader or even advanced squad leader version of a colonial warfare generally speaking. But I think I would want to play out the many forgotten or nearly forgotten smaller actions rather than the big well-known battles. Some scale changes, sure. Okay. Yeah. So it's having a good effect. Had some action. First Afghan unit eliminated. Couple of routes. So that's making me double check the ground scale. So 50 yards per hex. 50 yards per hex. So the British are firing full effect out to basically 300 yards. That's okay. Yeah, actually that is okay. So we will continue on. What else say? I want to get in some British volley fire. Yeah. Okay, so it is turn 3. Oh, the other thing, it's turn 3, and the Afghans are still making their way towards the objective. So maybe they should have started closer than I had them. I don't know. I can see how they could be brought up closer to the objective. Okay. That was kind of obvious, wasn't it? Alright, so it's the third turn. It's the native tribesmen's turn. They've moved, and so now it's defensive fire. So the native tribesmen are trying to conceal themselves more until they mass. So that's what they're doing. So I think there's just one British defensive fire, then we'll do offensive fire. Yeah, there's just not a lot of fire. The tribesmen are still moving into position. They offered too many targets early on. They should have waited and massed out of view, basically. What's important, this game has very obvious blocking terrain. Everything is what you would expect except for one, and that's rocky terrain, which is the blue I don't even know what you call that, but the blue irregular marble looking pattern there in the center of the screen, that's rocky. In rocky terrain, you cannot see past, or you cannot see through more than 3 hexes of rocky. So you can see, you know, quite easily through 1 and 2 rocky hexes. So this is what I'm thinking of is fairly low level rocky terrain. So you add it up. So basically you're talking about, you can see through 100 yards of this rocky terrain. You could see into, I guess, 150 yards of this rocky terrain. So I think enough of these undulations in the ground create the actual block of line of sight. Okay. Yeah, so British defensive fire. So now that the forces are closer, I'll go through one complete fire attack here. So this is, again, defensive fire. All non-phasing units, that's the British right now, because this is who's phasing. Including those that fired opportunity fire, that would be during the Afghans' movement, but they stayed out of, well, actually, opportunity fire here is only adjacent, so we're not even close to getting adjacent. May fire at enemy units within the limits of the fire combat rules. Some things are kind of implied. Maybe, this is 1984, maybe we were getting to the point of making wargame rules with too many assumptions at this point. But anyways, it says that during a fire phase, a unit can only fire, how do they put it? Where's it? All units eligible to fire in a given fire phase, so this is the defensive fire phase, may only fire once in that fire phase. Okay, all units fired upon in a fire phase may only be fired upon once per phase. So that's where I think you're saying that, okay, I want to fire on this one Afghan unit here, hiding in the rocks there. I think that's where you have to say, okay, all the fire on that hex combined into one attack. Okay. So we can, McVeigh here has his one British unit. Actually, leaders have nothing to do with fire combat. So let's actually just kind of ignore that. So I have 2 British units here. Range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's within normal or effective range. So it's 6 and 6 for a total of 12 firepower. Now we're going to, fire player totals the fire factors of all units firing into the same enemy occupied hex. Okay. So we'll start with the starting column. And I like this. This almost looks like what I saw with A Gleam of Bayonets. This kind of what do you want to call it? Non-uniform CRT. Anyways, so we're going to start on the 11-12 column. We will adjust for the rocky terrain, which is it says 3, but again, I guess fire defense column shifts 3. I still haven't found where this is really clearly spelled, but yeah, it is. I mean, okay, the defender's in the rocky terrain. You assume he's going to have a benefit. Well, benefit is going down. So 1, 2, 3. So the 5 and 6 column. I think that's the only thing that applies. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that applies. Yeah. Yep. All right. So roll 2 dice for the fire attack. Oh, 11. I'm guessing high and low are something to look for. So 5 and 6 column down to the 11 is up. Morale check. 5, 6. Yep, morale check. Morale check. Okay. So the Afghan defender has a morale of 7 there. It's the far right value. So again, you have firepower, melee value, and morale. And he fails, right? He rolls a 9. That's greater than his morale. So he route moves immediately. So route move is a full move away towards cover. Covers are forts, which are not in play here, and I think buildings, which is not going to help them because they're going towards the buildings. Yeah, building or fort hexes, or improved positions. Improved positions apply to both sides. So these improved positions could be seized by the Afghans. These ones. Okay, so a route move is a full move using the movement allowance, so it's 7. So it's that's what I was going to look at, going through friendly units. Scrub 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so here. This is scrub terrain, which is 2. So I think a route move is moving away. You're using your, which by the way I like. Where is it? When conducting movement, use the full movement factor. Pay all necessary terrain costs. I was thinking about this recently. I'm no longer really warming to like route 3 hexes, 4 hexes, whatever. Some set number of hexes. I'm starting to think, well, why wouldn't that just be some kind of movement? But anyways, what do you know? Here they have it. So this will be scrub is 2, up a level 2 will be +2, and then 2 for another scrub hex. So right, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be a fire attack. So again, non-uniform morale check. So here on the 5-6 column, we executed that. Could have been two units eliminated with a snake eyes. 1 unit eliminated with a 3 or a 12, and then a 4, 7, a 10 or 11 is a morale check, and then 5, 6, and 8 and 9 no effect. So very, very interesting. Oh, I forgot. With the amount of play I've had, I was going to have units have their route/panic morale be 1 less than their front side printed morale. I think that's too drastic, so I'm going to scrap that. I'm just going to go with the printed morale. I still wonder what was actually intended. Maybe that was a change at some point in development of the game. Well, now there is no offensive fire. No, there's no offensive fire. Afghans are not going to do that. Yeah, so I do want to know about routing through anything, through stuff. So there was no melee, which ended off the Afghan turn, and then there was nothing for the Brits to do, for the British side to do. So I just didn't have them do anything. Now we're back to turn 4, or we're at turn 4, back to the native tribesmen's player turn. So I'll try to go through all the details real quick. We have our rally phase. It's only for phasing units. Within the leadership bonus range and line of sight. Oh, look at that. Look at that. During a phasing player's rally phase, he may attempt to rally all of his units. We have routed units here. They're in a state of panic or disgrace, route, and are stacked with or... That is a straight up contradiction. Alright, first one I found. In the sequence of play, it says, phasing player attempts to rally all of his troops who are currently in a state of panic. Panic, route. Oh, by the way, I'm told that panic and route are exactly the same thing. Note that panic and rout are exactly equivalent. That's really, really confusing, but okay. So in a state of panic and are within the leadership bonus range and line of sight of an undisgraced friendly leader, good order leader. That's under the sequence of play, but under the rally phase part of the actual morale chapter of the rules, it says so you can attempt to rally units and leaders that are in a state of panic or disgrace or rout that are stacked with or adjacent to an undisgraced leader, a good order leader. That's specifically why I sent Shurat Khan off here. The exception to this rule is that disgraced leaders, that's Yaqub Khan, example. Where is that? Disgraced leaders may attempt to self-rally. Okay, I was wondering if there was going to be a self-rally. So I guess I'll roll for Yaqub Khan first. Alright, so he rallies 6, which is 8, his current morale there. So it's equal to or less than that, so he rallies. And then here, I can, this is very important, leadership bonus, yeah. So to rally a unit or leader, okay, roll 2 dice. Oh, this is a good example, 6. Subtracting the result from the result, the morale benefit. It's called morale benefit at one point. It's called leadership bonus at another point, and it's called a rally modifier at another point. Oh my. Anyways, easy to figure out what's meant. So, but Shurat Khan has a -3. That's really, really good. So he easily rallies this guy. Because that's a modified 7 or less. Alright. Here, Zami Khan has 0, so he doesn't offer anything. Oh, he makes it though. He rolls a 5. So he rallies. Now if they had not rallied, I think they have to route move again. And I stopped here. I actually put my first player marker reminder at 15 hexes away, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it says at 15 hexes, you don't have to keep routing. So if you hit the cover terrain, which isn't going to help us here, or if you hit 15 hexes max. Although I don't understand why they wouldn't stop route moving after they... Yeah, actually, never mind about that. It's hard to get the rules just right for, like, controlling... Well, basically controlling routing units, right? Okay. Then you would do the British Volley Fire phase. Unfortunately, now they don't have any real targets to speak of. Then we do the movement phase. So I'm going to continue to move up my native tribesmen. So this should be blocking terrain, because all of this is scrub. So this is scrub here, so basically I'm going to mass one inside so that there's basically a screen. Once I mass everybody, then I'll charge out, so to speak, like I'm doing over here. Here's a line of... So again, the British can see right through this line of rocky hexes. They can see right through that. But here's a line of scrub right here. Goes all the way around here, so I am massing behind there. Actually, you know what? This guy's up one. He can be seen. I take all that back, because he can actually be seen. Because he's up a level. He's in scrub, but he's up a level, because there's the elevation change. Huh. You know what? I need to factor that in.